Hey, yo, what's up with them oxalatos, bro? I didn't know them shits existed either.
It's a spoiler, but Seth Rogen's beating off on the boys.
That's a crazy sentence. That's a crazy
Look
sentence.
who's saying
Yeah. Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. Oh my goodness. It's been quite the year, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Oh, man, it's been quite the year. As you guys can see, my counterparts are not here. They've been partying so hard. It was they were partying pretty hard. We all were. And as you can see, there just needs a little bit more time to recuperate. But other than that, I'm so glad that we're back. We're doing great things. There's a lot of new things for you guys to look forward to. A lot of new guests, a lot of new sounds. I also wanted to talk about our email that will appear right here. If you are looking for us to maybe do a quick little pop-up, maybe have a party or an event, definitely email us at what it is that you see here, info.codedentry@gmail.com, and we'll be able to reach back out with you and turn the party up, because I definitely want you guys to be able to reach out to us for whatever it may be, and, we'll get things on and popping. I wish I can show you what it is that we were doing for New Year's, but things, I would say the way that things transpired, as you can see, it was quite the time. I might just have y'all pay to see it. I ain't gonna lie. Might need to put a little paywall behind everything that we were doing. Who knows? We'll see how I'm feeling. One of the things that I also wanted to get on into is this whole Jonathan Majors case. He's been found guilty. I just hate to see it. Him being found guilty, he's lost all his deals with Marvel, no longer associated with them. I guess the biggest thing with that is I just hate to see the potential when someone just gets snuffed out just like that. This dude also was going to be the face of the military. He had a military commercial, army commercial exact, and that didn't even that went down the drain. I know that he's recently been with Megan Good. She's been showing him support during his time period and things of that nature. At this point in time, I think he's one of those people who has definitely had their time, and now it's done fully and completely. Don't really see any way of being able to make a comeback of something like this. It just wow. You see allegations and allegations when found guilty. There's oof. How do you even come back from that? Don't think you can. But on a brighter note, The Color Purple is now out. I've been seeing quite a bit of it, quite a bit of the things that they've been having going on with that, the award shows, people coming back and telling, the just the impact that a movie like this has had on them back in the past and now today. I definitely been hearing something from what's his name, Kev on Stage. He actually talked about his reactions towards it and how wonderful it was. Definitely sees it getting tons and tons of awards and nominations. I haven't seen it yet. I definitely do plan on seeing it sometime in the future. Actually, sometime this weekend, if possible. I do plan on seeing it, just to be able to give my honest, true take on it and where things have been. I know Poseidon, he was talking about it a little bit, saying that, because I definitely asked the question on whether or not he thinks that this would be something that is good for the culture. And his response, of course, was a little lackluster, but there was a lot of truth in it. Just the simple fact that the culture needs a lot more than a movie. which I can agree on. But staying on the topic, I've seen the trailer, I've seen the movie in the past. I don't see it being a movie that will not be able to do our culture justice. I will say that. I think this is something that is very monumental, especially in today's day and age, just to be able to show just the talents out there. Fantasia, wonderful job. I've been hearing how wonderful she's played in that. Haley Bailey doing amazing in that too. Like a lot of movie stars, a lot of the actresses and the actors that was in that movie doing great things, great things. And I do plan on seeing it and giving my honest take on that. But not just to stop there, there was another thing that was brought up that I did want to also harp on is Taraji P. Henson and her recent appearance on, I think it was a Oprah appearance or some appearance that she just made recently, and just talking about how her acting career and the trajectory of it has taken even now. She was talking about planning on retiring due to the fact of her monumental role in Empire as Cookie, and how a few of the things that she thought had been set into place weren't. It seemed as if not many people had ideas as for where her career would be going after playing a monumental role in Empire. She said it was very piss poor planning in terms as for her trajectory and where her career should have been leading towards. I can see it. I've heard it plenty of times. There is a big difference when it comes to actresses and actors, especially those who are not of color. There's a big pay difference, big pay scale difference. One person who has also brought that to light is Viola Davis, and how hard she has to fight for roles as opposed to someone like Meryl Streep. Um, a lot of issues pertaining to that, as well as Terrence Howard also talking about how much he made off of Hustle and Flow. He said um, something and something for the culture as that Hustle and Flow. Everyone knows that movie. Everyone knows what the movie is about. And for him to get a measly $12,000 off of such a monumental role like that, I see why the writer's strike has happened. I see the whole point of it. I'm glad that they were able to come more to a conclusion as for how things will be going in the future. Glad that they was able to rectify that, at least for now. But I can see why it was necessary because of circumstances like this. My big idea, just to be able to see things from both sides, I think that it really comes down more so on the studios and whether or not they see a potential within the actor or actresses themselves, which will determine how much they're going to back them in terms of how much money they can generate and how much revenue that they can bring in. I feel as if there's a lot more intricacies within that, but it's to each his own. Who am I to sit there and tell somebody, especially someone who's been acting for plus 10 years, how they should go about things? Quite sure they know exactly how things is going, which is why they've came to the conclusions that they've came to. And yeah, I just really wanted to touch upon that because it's definitely something that needs to be brought to light. I wouldn't even mind acting myself. It was something that I did have dreams and aspirations to, and who knows, maybe because of what it is that we're doing here, you might see me on the big screen. I'm already trying to be seen on your phones and on your TV, so nothing really holding me back from being in those movie theaters too. And with that, I just wanted to touch upon those things as well as some of my personal New Year's revolutions. Is it revolutions or resolutions? Resolutions? New Year's revolution?
Resolutions.
Resolutions. I'm trying to start a
New Year's
revolution.
revolution would be
for coded entry for the sanctuary, hey, we'll really do that. That sounds like a plan to me, honestly. Another thing I wanted to get on into is a few of the things that I've seen music wise. I've always been one to listen to a lot of Afro beats, Thames, um, what's his name? Wizkid. Wizkid actually just dropped a new EP. It is absolutely fire. So if you want to start the new year off on a high note, I definitely highly suggest going on ahead and listening to that Wizkid EP. He definitely did an amazing job on that. Lots and lots of new music coming out, as well as Lil Yachty's rap group Concrete Boys. Absolutely amazing rap group. You have people like Draft Day, you have people like DC2 Trill, as well as Camo, and as well as Caribou. She's another one that is really good, all within that rap group. But I actually like Caribou's best friend. What is her name? Anisha? Anasia? Anna? Anasia? 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 And that's Anisha? It's something like, I know she came out with this hit single called Big Body, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Big Body, on the hose. Boss nigga put Balenci on her toes. I'll put the Balenci on her toes. Shout outs to Anasia. We'll probably end up tagging you in there. I'm probably butchering her name. But she ain't got to know me all too much. As long as she know me as the nigga that's putting Balenci on her toes. That's all that matters. And one other thing I wanted to also touch up upon. There's so many things coming this year. Like, I just want to be able to hit everything before we, wrap everything up. For those of you who might be looking at this new year with any sort of dread or any sort of like worry, I hope that you're able to, really see things in a much brighter note. I know a few people who dread every beginning of the year. There's some people that don't look forward to the new year. There's some people that or even if you're one of those people who are looking at this year and ready for it to be over, just know that there's tons and tons of better things out there for you. There's tons of new horizons for you to be able to reach, and to never really give up on yourself and on your dreams and your aspirations and where it is that life may take you. There's a lot of people who, like I was saying, I don't want to, continue on saying the same things over and over again, but definitely never ever write your story off too soon. There's tons of opportunities that are out there. There's tons of people who you haven't came in contact with that you might be able to meet new and then in this new year that will be able to take you to that place that you've always had for yourself. So always be able to stay as open and as optimistic as possible, because it definitely takes you far. Even what we're doing here, like, I would have never guessed that things would have transpired the way that they did. But now look at us. We're gaining followers. We have a whole bunch of subscribers, have a whole bunch of fans, people telling me, hey, yo, what's up with them oxalotls, bro? I didn't know them shits existed either. So with stuff like that, I always like to be able to bring certain things to light, be able to motivate others. And I hope that I'm able to motivate you as well, so that we can go ahead and get this new year started off right. I was actually in my mental Rolodex, and I was thinking about creating my own version of cereal milk, because I know for me, whenever it came down to like a bowl of cereal, the best part of it was always the milk. So I always thought about coming out with, like, I don't know, some like cinnamon toast crunch milk, but then turns to find out they already got it. So that's how I knew I was on the right track. You know what I mean? There's someone who's a genius who thought of the idea before I did, but at least I know that I'm thinking like a genius at the end of the day, because it's not a race, it's a marathon, and I'm gonna keep on running. You feel me? So, well, just wanted to touch on a few things. Like I said, the homies, they over there recuperating. This New Year's was definitely one that was, oh my goodness. I ended up yeah, yeah. Like it's kind of hard to kind of even recollect everything that has happened and has transpired, um, because of how much of a good time it was. Like, I'm still also recovering from it, but nonetheless, it was a great time, and I hope all of you guys had one too. Had a great time, um, and yeah, definitely can't go wrong there. One of my biggest things that I've talked about pertaining to this podcast is, the fact that we're doing something that I would consider to be beneficial to others who hear it. I definitely strive to be able to help one live life a little more fully through either what it is that we talk about, our experiences, and things of that nature. Because one thing that I can say is we've started something, right? That didn't require us to take from anyone, didn't require us to lie to anyone. It was a path that we carved out for ourselves that we believe is going to lead us towards that success that we have destined for us, because your success is destined. That is one thing that I am a firm believer of. I feel as if, you know, everyone has their place in this world and their trajectory, and it's up to you to make sure that you get there, but also as well as the man upstairs, because he's the reason that everything is possible. So with that, I just wanted to just give y'all a little bit of what's going on. um, and plus all those followers and subscribers out there, keep liking, keep subscribing. You're gonna see more and more of us talking about various topics. If there's anything that you want us to touch upon, leave a like, leave a comment, whatever it may be, and we'll get back with you. Perfect. So, one of the major things that I definitely wanted to try and get on into is some of these movies that's been coming out. One of them being the Godzilla -1. So they have Godzilla -1, and they have the Godzilla versus Kong. Which one do you think is going to be better?
So honestly, I think they're both great in their own ways. Like, and that's what it is, because you've got, the classic Godzilla, destroying Japan. But then you've got, the Godzilla that, Kick-Ass started, back in 2014 with fucking Walter White.
Yeah.
And that spun off, an entire film series and so much behind it. Like, there's a fucking series on Apple TV now. And they both love the fact that these movies are coming out around the same time. Because it's friendly competition, it helps the market. It helps them.
It does seem like a win-win situation. Like, at the end of the day, they are both Godzilla movies. It's just, I would say, in terms of the -1 and then the Kong and Godzilla one, if I had to choose between the two, I would honestly give it to -1, just for the simple fact of, like, Godzilla looking menacing as hell. And in terms of what Godzilla represents, I feel as if that is it. Like, it focuses more on the terror that people had seeing a creature like that come out of nowhere and just wreak fucking havoc. And then you have Kong and Godzilla teaming up against this orangutan that looks out of this world. And I would give it, so in terms of Godzilla, like, and just strictly Godzilla and what that traditional Godzilla is, I give it the -1. But in terms of adventure and in terms of surprise, that element of surprise and what may come, that's where I'm gonna have to give it to Kong and Godzilla. Like, I feel as if that adventure is going to be one that really takes it up out of this world. I'm glad that they're trying to push a little bit further away from Millie Bobby Brown, I'm assuming. I don't know if she's in this next one all too much. If she is, cool. If not, great. For the simple fact of, I want to see more of, you know, the actual things that are going on for the people who are amongst that area, and seeing these big creatures coming out of nowhere and just fucking pummeling each other. You see, if they focused more on that perspective, then, well, I mean, I would just give it to -1 because they definitely focus more on that perspective, just in terms of like what Godzilla is actually capable of doing, and seeing it from the perspective of the people though who aren't the main characters, who doesn't have any ties to the creature, who are just regular folks who are trying to live their everyday lives and see this fucking monstrous creature wreaking havoc. That's where I give it to -1. Another thing that I'm actually looking forward to, there's some great shows that I actually wanted to talk about. One of them being the season finale of Gen V just ended.
Yup.
Fully caught up to that. Wonderful show. Absolutely amazing. And it leads right on into The Boys. Season 4?
Season 4.
I'm excited for this. Homelander has definitely been one of the more menacing, quote unquote, superheroes that I've ever seen in any Marvel or DC movie. You want to talk about a show that puts the perspective as for what a superhero might deal with on an everyday grand scheme of things. It's definitely The Boys. I've never seen something depict just how much of a nuisance it may be to be an actual superhero in today's day and age. They've opened up a whole new trajectory as for what your average day superhero is. When it came to even just how they even go about saving people is on a completely different scale. The storyline is amazing. It's absolutely impeccable. Very, very excited to see how this new season goes and what transpires from it.
I gotta ask, man, who's your favorite character from The Boys?
My favorite character?
Yeah. Mine's gotta be Seth Rogen when he was beaten off to that chick's OnlyFans.
Seth Rogen is in The Boys?
Season 3. Look it up.
Was that like a cameo?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a cameo?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even know he was in that.
It's one of those blink and you'll miss it, but you'll hear that.
And he was doing what?
He was beating off to, it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler, but Seth Rogen was beating off on The Boys.
That's a crazy sentence. That's a crazy
sentence.
sentence.
Look who's saying it. Look who's saying it.
That's a crazy.
Is that the craziest shit you've heard me say today?
No, it actually is not.
That's the craziest shit on the podcast.
That's the craziest shit on the podcast.
That's why they don't give me a mic half the time.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take for sure. But yeah, I definitely watched the previous seasons. There's definitely, honestly, I'm not surprised because there's wilder shit that's actually happened in the season. Like, let's not forget about that one dude superpower that's able to, that's a crazy superpower. You remember it was strangling the dude? He was like, oh,
yeah.
Crazy.
Where I was going with was,
crazy.
Was the dude that could shrink down.
Oh,
that's making me cringe, dog.
All right, let's not even go there. Like, for those who know, you know, and if you don't, I don't even know if you want to know. And it's that part. But it was definitely, that was when they went to that party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just, oh my goodness, that backfired. Then he like sneezed, and then it just, ooh, he just went back to regular size. Oh my goodness.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was a crazy ass fucking scene. I can't even stop thinking about it because it was that crazy of a scene. I'm not gonna lie. Great show though. Great shows. A lot of good shows that I'm looking forward to seeing. That is a good one. You got anything else that's on your list, Dietrich? Some things that you might be looking forward to seeing. What shows do you be watching? What's some good shows?
So I'm a creature of habit, so I'll rewatch the same shows again and again.
Oh, you do that? I can't do that.
But my
I can't do
go-tos
that.
are like pretty hilarious shit though.
It's pretty.
Like,
Is it more on the like the comedy side of things?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I do. So I love a lot of HBO shows because they're raw, they're hard hitting. Like they show you straight up what's going on.
Yeah.
You see the bullshit behind drug violence in The Wire. You see
Or
nipples and
Euphoria.
real sex. You see fucking cops in Baltimore, crooked as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, they don't sugarcoat it. And
Euphoria. That's another one too. A lot of people are looking forward to. I know that season's gonna be coming back. That's what it is. Yeah.
isn't that A24
No.
show?
That's a HBO Max show.
Yeah,
Euphoria.
but I'm pretty sure that A24 had a play in it.
A play. I wouldn't be surprised if they
Yeah.
did. I mean, like
Because Beef, it was on Netflix.
Oh, Beef was good. Beef, I actually love that one. It was a little strange towards like the little middle of it. Like, yeah, it was just some parts that was a little strange that I didn't quite understand. But other than that, that definitely was a pretty good show there, for sure. You think you think they're coming out with another season of that? I don't know. The way it ended was kind of like lackluster. And Beef.
I don't know. Like, I read somewhere that they want to, but,
Does it need it though? I feel like the point was already. Like, there's some shows where you watch it and you're like, all right, I feel like I got the point.
yeah.
Like, for them to make another season, I think is just.
But, I mean, that's what they did with Breaking Bad.
I know what it was. Squid Games. That I'm actually waiting for. That's actually one thing I wanted to talk about.
That spinoff with The Deep?
No, Squid Games.
Okay.
Squid Games is where like it was like it's a Korean based drama or action kind of drama like on Netflix where these people are kind of like willingly putting themselves through torture for this like millions and millions of dollars worth of money. I think the way they did it was 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, it was a way like they were just fighting for their lives through these different obstacle courses that are kind of Saw themed, I would say. And they're supposed to be coming out with a second season with it, but the lead actor in it, he actually is requesting at least $1 million per episode for him to be able to film it, which I think is pretty reasonable. Hence the fact that Squid Games was like one of the most binge watch shows on Netflix. Probably saved the definitely saved the bleeding that they had due to subscribers off of this one show and their subscriptions and what it was that they were, dealing with people password sharing and shit like that. So it definitely, I think, helped them out in that sense because the money that they generated from that show is absolutely insane. So for him to ask for a mil per episode, I think is justified. He brought them in tons and tons of monies, and I know with Netflix, they always love to cut a person's contract off before they start requesting more money, especially if it's a good show. They've always been big on doing those types of things, so I get it. I definitely do. It's justified. $1 million per episode, justified. I would say 100%.
This is the main character?
This is the main character, the main guy who plays in Squid Games. He's requesting this.
Like, look at the actress that played Fiona Gallagher in Shameless, the American version. Like, after, season 7 or something
Yeah.
like that. She was basically the main lead, but because I can't remember his name, the Frank Gallagher dude,
Yeah.
because he's, a fucking actor for all these years, big name star, like he was getting the most money per episode. But even him, he's like, no, like she deserves the money. She's
Yeah.
there in the spotlight more than me.
Yeah. He's definitely. I
William H
mean,
Macy.
yep. Yeah. He's definitely a really well known actor for sure. I've never been one. I watched Shameless. I think the reason why it's kind of hard. It's a hard watch for me, and the reason because like I'm real big on the things that I watch, kind of adding towards my character in certain ways. I'd always like to know because I feel as if when it comes to certain movies and certain things that you watch or certain things that you hear and listen to, there's some sort of like thing within it that you feel as if suits you, right? Shameless, the only thing with Shameless that I think I've had the biggest issue with it was great storytelling, great storytelling, great character development. It just always with me, I feel like it's one of those shows that you watch whenever you're personally going through something, and then you sit there and realize that what it is that you're going through isn't that bad. Because the Gallaghers, they one thing I will say is they had a lot of shit that they were going through on the day to day, and I just didn't. I guess it was just too gritty of a show for me. Didn't really like the way it would make me feel after watching it. And I can't say many shows are like that. One show that made me close to feeling like that was The Walking Dead and Negan beating Glenn's brains out. That was actually one scene that, like, for any TV show, that was the most traumatic for me because it literally made me nauseous while watching that episode. And then for him to pick out Rick's son afterwards, after that, I thought he was going to be next too. It was just like insane. And I absolutely hate Negan. But now everyone loves him. So it's a bittersweet. I still can't respect him for what he did to Glenn. I was even looking at the actor a little different. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
you're gonna be mad at season 4 of The Boys.
Yeah. No, you're right. Because it was just, oh my goodness, bro. It was just insane. And I like that actor too, because he played Sam and Dean's dad in Supernatural. So I definitely, yeah, that role was crazy. That role was crazy. He took on a major role with that one playing Negan. So I feel it. Definitely great. Definitely really, really great. What else? What else are some good shows? Because I really got a lot of great like series that I've started to watch. And some of the takeaways from it. That's why I was up on that Mr. and Mrs. Smith, because that one is definitely one I'm gonna definitely check out for sure.
That one does look good.
You seen the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no. You said you do not like gritty shows.
Not one to that extent. I don't know if there's many shows that's like Shameless, but
there's some shows that top that, like in terms of like just like not shock value, but just grittiness and like real just.
yeah, it just seems like nothing ever works out for them.
Yeah.
And I, watching the show, it kind of put me in that kind of mental head frame to where, life is just this, fucked up thing that you have to make the most out of, which isn't the case. I don't believe that. I would never believe that. I think things happen because things do, because life happens, because life is. So, but at the same time, it's not one of those things to where I feel as if it's a woe is me type of ordeal, and that, it's acceptable for you to be okay with things not going your way. As much people say that, oh, well, you just upset that things aren't going your way, that doesn't mean that you should accept things not going your way either. You know what I mean? There's a certain class, a certain balance that you need to be able to maintain when things aren't. You know what I mean? It's not, and then that's why I always give the fact of the people. Like I always tell people, there are no wrong feelings because there isn't. It's just how it is that you go about those feelings that makes all the difference. You know, and I would say that to anybody. That's why sometimes I've even heard people, you know, it's just even gotten to the point because with that mindset and with that mentality that I've had, I've even gotten to the point to where people have came up. People have came up and apologized about things that I didn't even know was even happening. But they and them being who it is that they are and realizing how it is that they were feeling, they felt the need to bring it to my attention to let me know that they weren't operating in the best versions of themselves. And I respect them for that because, you know, we all have our issues. We all have our flaws. You know what I mean? But, you know, you should never let that stop you from becoming a better person or trying to be, you know? So, yeah, with that, it was definitely eye-opening of a show, of a TV series. I'll say, like, one on a more lighter note, there is one that I always thought was pretty good of a show. It was a small series, and it kind of goes over the life of this young girl who was you know, because of her beliefs and what it was that she was born into, she kind of has certain traditions that she needed to uphold. It's a wonderful show on Netflix called Unorthodox. This is actually one show that actually made me tear up a little bit because of just how well written the character development is and how this woman's life starts off and where it trajects to. Um, such a good show, and I actually watched it by accident. I didn't even mean to watch it. I was just like bored one day, and I was like, all right, I'm going down the Netflix rabbit hole. Let me give something else a try. You know, not everything I can watch has to be this action-packed, busting down doors and head chopping type of shit. Let me kind of watch something a little more cool, calm, and collected. And that was one that I highly recommended. Really, really good series. One on a little bit of a lighter note. Really good show.
Yeah. On a lighter note, I was recommended a show on Netflix by a bouncer at a strip club
Okay.
called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It is a musical, but it's fucking phenomenal.
It's a musical?
Yeah.
You watch musicals?
Yeah, bro.
You like musicals?
Hey, you like Wolverine? You ever see Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen The Greatest Showman?
No.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Bro.
I seen The
It'll
Prestige.
change your fucking life.
That one was good. Oh. Okay. I have to check that one out. I have to definitely check that one out.
Also, True Detective Season 1.
Oh, you like crime shows? Are you big on crime shows? I can't watch crime shows. I don't know.
Okay, so like the realistic,
Yeah.
gritty ones. So like the old school Law and Order SVU, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where, you know, Stabler's there beating up pedophiles and shit. And you
Yeah.
got Ice-T, like roughing up people.
Yeah.
You know,
With his leather jacket.
hell yeah.
It's just.
And you got his fucking sassy ass old partner Munch,
Yeah.
who was in like fucking 7 other different shows as Detective Munch.
Wait, what? Now that is
He
crazy.
was in X-Files as Detective Munch, swear to God.
Oh, this dude's over here breaking through the fourth wall, and he keeps the same name every time. Yeah,
It's the same
that's crazy.
character.
That's crazy. That dude is breaking through the fourth wall. He's in different TV shows, and he's still playing the same character. You know, sometimes I think of like if life is like that, like if we're a part of like I do feel as if, like I was saying, there is some background characters out there, but then often like I think of whether or not we can potentially be background characters in the grand scheme of things. Like, what if there's like a group of people who are trying to save the world right now, and we're just sitting here filming a podcast, you know, and like they're fighting creatures at night, and we're sitting here just like, yeah, oh yeah, you know, like, you know, we're just not not in that mix of or realm of things. You
So
know,
we're basically the
we're in
city
the
of New York
universe,
in Men in Black.
basically.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, like we're within it, but we're not of it. You know,
Yeah,
so
like
I don't know. I always think like that sometimes, but I also I've even taken it to the point to where assuming that they did finish their mission and that they did save the world, which is why we're all still here. So I've already seen the end credits.
we're still alive. That means the good guys won.
That means the good guys won. That's the end credits. Like they did what they were supposed to do. You know,
No, just
that's
wait for the after credit scene.
yeah. Wait for the after credits. You know, I do feel that. I do. I've thought that. You never like thought up of. You never like came up with your own background story for yourself or for other people, just for how things is going in life.
Oh yeah, all the fucking time. Like I like to people watch in my spare time.
Okay.
So like that's what I do. Like I can just fucking see someone and just spit something out.
And just spit something. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. And like, not to get too I guess introspective with things. Do you feel as if like I know with me, I've always been one to think that with the people that I come around or the people that I come across, I feel as if all too much it's easy for people to assume that they're different than everyone around them. I feel as if that's a lot of the personas that people take. They consider themselves to be so different than the masses and so estranged to what society deems to be normal. And I've taken up more of the stance of me thinking that I have a lot more in common with people than not. And I can honestly say that was probably one of the biggest mental changes within my realm of things that I could have possibly done. Because in a lot of cases, I feel as if people do have a lot more in common with others than not. And it just takes you actually moving with that notion. You know, like it's one thing to say it, but to really move in that notion is a whole completely different stance. You know, all too much. It's just too easy. I just feel as if it's just too easy for me to just sit here and think like, oh, I'm so different than others. Oh, I'm just not like you, or I'm just not like this. And it's like life doesn't have to be this a strange and difficult thing, especially when you realize that there's so many others that might be going through the same things that you are, but you just haven't thought of speaking up or even trying to attempt to even have that thought that there might be, you know. And the reason why I say that is because with some of the people that I've came across, oftentimes I'm told that, you know, I am a very happy person. I carry myself with a sense of happiness that is unlike many others. And I think the reason for that is because, well, for one, I've always been one to get high off the people, if that makes sense. So, like, when it comes to certain people that I meet, I don't feel as if I'm any different than them. I feel as if we're just starting off on two different spectrums, and it just takes us meeting in the middle. And then from there, we see how far that spectrum really is, and how far things really go in the grand scheme of things. I never take the stance of someone not being like me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I see people as more so a reflection. I mean that's what I think most friends is. Most friends that you have are just to complement the traits that you already carry. I mean, if we're being honest, because it's kind of hard for you to have a friend that isn't like you in some way, you know? And so with that, I usually carry that. I can honestly say no matter who it is, I can find some sort of similarity between me and that person, no matter who it is. And I've yet to be wrong on that. And I doubt I will.
No, I really like that perspective, and I definitely have noticed that a lot as well. You know, because you definitely do have, you know, an overall congenial disposition. You know, people enjoy being around you. People, you know, like spending time with you. Because I look forward to coming over here podcasting. You know, because it's hanging out with, you know, my friends.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
doing my passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, you know, finding that middle ground. You know, when I first met Cordell, you know, I didn't think me and him had anything in common. But me and him are super close when we say a lot of crazy stuff to each other.
No, y'all definitely do.
Close. And then like me and you, like we're vibing about movies. Like this was supposed to be what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And we're at like 20 some.
For real?
I don't have a timer here, but
no. I feel that. I feel that though, because I think what all too much a lot of people don't take the time of doing is work on themselves. And
speak of the devil.
Yeah.
And he shall appear.
And then, you know,
Talking
we got
shit.
we got this dude. What you got? Where the food at?
This ain't for you.
Give me the food, man.
This ain't for you, man. Hey,
From tacos.
Codedentry shit, man. Hey.
Codedentry shit. Yo, for real. Sure. Nah, for real. That's some real spiel right there, man. It's the life that we're living in, man. It's a glorious one. I will say that. So, yeah, I didn't want to. I like the way that the things transpired just now and where things have taken, because I feel as if people get to know a little bit more about us, a little deeper, as for how it is that we carry ourselves and move about, you know, meeting individuals or making friends. I've been hearing. You don't want to know what's something that's been trending on YouTube that I see a lot of people doing too? I see these That is exactly the videos. They'll sit there and be like, I'm 30 years old with no friends, or I'm 40 years old with no friends. And those videos do numbers. And it goes to show you just how many people are not putting themselves out there and not taking advantage of the opportunities that are presenting themselves. Because with something like that, when I hear someone say, hey, how do I make friends, or why am I so alone, and why don't I have anyone around? One of the first things that I always ask and put into perspective is, hey, well, how are you putting yourself out there for you to even be known? Are you saying that from the shadows? Or are you saying that from a place or from a position where people can actually acknowledge you?
So I want to touch up on two things. The first one being, I don't think it's a matter of people, you know, not putting themselves out there, this and that, and looking up those videos.
Yeah.
Or, people not taking advantage of those opportunities. I think part of that is, you know, what did we talk about earlier? You know, the depression. Fucking the lockdown, shutdown shit, it fucked up a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know? And so, people lost themselves. I forgot how to be social. Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It is a tough
people
one.
trying to improve themselves, you know, how can I be, you know, more approachable as a person to, make these organic connections, you know, this and that.
So you feel as if it's more of a stance of just being able to get out of their own shell a little bit more, and not everyone is able to do that, or some people have been put into a shell that they can't break out of.
Exactly, and that was
Yeah.
my issue growing up. You know? So I was kind of a weird kid. Not kind of. I was definitely a fucking.
You said I was not kind of, I was definitely weird.
Now I'm a weird adult,
Yeah.
but no, like that's what it was. Just a social awkwardness, like just something. And if people want to learn how to grow out of that and how to improve themselves, then hell yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. And that's how I like to look at it. Like it's people trying to help themselves.
I feel that.
Like, I'm not gonna laugh at a big person at the gym. They're at the
Yeah.
fucking gym.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's some real spill right there, man. That is some real spill. I one thing that I've heard someone tell me that I've been able to carry within myself is that oftentimes the people that you see around you are really just true reflections of yourself. You have to remind yourself exactly what it is that makes you you, and utilize that in a way that helps you realize that they are who they are. You know, like I've always, like, some of the biggest things, like I've even heard people tell me like, hey, like, you remind me of a homie I haven't met in a long time. Or because I feel like there's a level of comfortability you also need to have with yourself in order to have that with others. And that's not like, because, and I want to talk about that because I think all too much a lot of people speak on more so the mental illnesses that people may have, but not so much of the mental, but not so much the stance as for what a healthy mindset would look like. Like, because we're too busy figuring out the diagnosis or the reasons why people act the way they act. But what about those who do have healthy mindsets? You know what I mean? And what about focusing on what makes a healthy mindset? You know what I mean? And how to be able to carry that and utilize that in your everyday grand scheme of things. I don't think it's talked about enough. I can sit here and talk, like, I can hear about a whole bunch of ailments and a whole bunch of illnesses for days, but when it comes about, hey, well, what actually would make me a healthier minded person, I don't feel as if there's a lot to go off of with that. Like, I would consider myself to be one that has a very healthy mindset. I'm a healthy, driven person. You know what I mean? And I'm not sitting there saying that, I don't have my flaws and my issues. We all do. But when it comes to certain things, such as like mental illnesses and things of that nature, I've always been told it's a matter of what type and how much, in that term of like, mental health and what illnesses they may or may not have. So with that, I like to think that I'm fully capable and fully responsible for my own actions and the things that I do and the things that I say. I just take that stance. I'm not one to even, I wouldn't even say that I'm one to admit that there was something wrong if there was something wrong, because I would feel that's just me that's just me not taking accountability. That's just who I am, me personally. Yeah. That's just how I am. I like to be accountable for all the things that I do, all the things that I say, how I go about this, how I go about that. And even if there is an issue or even if there is a problem, I'm not letting that be the reason for why things didn't go the way I planned on it going, in a general sense. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things to where for everyone it's not like that. I do know that there's some people that are really, going through certain issues and certain problems that they don't have any help for. So if I could be a voice of reason to be able to help somebody get to that next level, I'm all for it. And I would say we're all for it. We're all for it. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things that not everyone has the answer to. And I ain't even gonna claim and say that I have all the answers, because, I don't. I'm living this life just like the rest of everyone else on this earth. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that my ways is better than others. You know, but I'm also not gonna sit here and say that I'm lost in this world either. You know, I think I have a good structure in my life. I think I have a good support system in my life. I have those who I love. I have those who I care about, friends and family included. And yeah, and I'm going to keep on keeping on, especially with what it is that we're doing here, because I think it's going to be able to open up a lot more avenues for people to be able to express themselves. Hence the reason for why we're doing this now. Hence the reason for this next year being as amazing as it will be, because we're going to be incorporating a lot of different avenues, a lot of new faces, a lot of new people, and the things that they have to offer that they feel as if is worth more than anything else in this world. So for them to be able to do this here on this podcast and what it is that we have going on, by all means, I'm glad that I'm here to help. I'm glad that we're all here to help. So yeah, it's definitely good. Some good stuff here. Some good stuff here that we're cooking up for sure. Yeah. And with that, I would say, yeah, that definitely touched upon. I'm glad the way this. Wow, this was good. This was good.
It in a good direction.
Yeah, it was. I'm actually glad that we was able to sit down and actually have like a full. Like we're being honest with ourselves here. We're not sitting here just telling people what they want to hear. And I feel as if this gives people more of an insight as for our mental spaces and our emotions and how it is that we operate. So I'm glad that they're able to see and peek a little bit more deeper into our minds and how it is that we go about, everyday life. And I hope to be able to drop some gems for people to be able to utilize for themselves as well, because my biggest thing out here, and that's a big thing to me too, because like me personally, I don't have any kids right now, but I plan on having a lot. And when I do,
Nikki.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no. Nikki is one of those ones to where, whenever her baby daddy ain't acting right, hopefully she can slide over this way, But she doing big things with Kai and stuff like that. She's too focused on this Pink Friday too, which is fine. But when that's done and over with, she know who she could come to. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just hope to be the biggest role model that I possibly can for my kids when I plan on having them too. And I want to have a big family, man. I do. So bless you. And so with that, I want to make sure that I'm leading and steering them in the right direction as well as everyone else. That's my biggest thing. That is my biggest thing. Not enough people out there that's trying to be a beacon for those who need it. This world, the way the trajectory is going, there's a lot more negative things out there for people to focus on than positive. There's not enough people out there who are expressing how it is that they feel. They're too busy looking for reactions and doing things without thinking 5 minutes past their ass. And then they get in these sticky situations and they look for others, or they blame others for why they're there. It's just not, like, who else can you blame but you? It's the decisions that you make and the actions that you take that, directs your trajectory in the grand scheme of things. So you got to make sure that what it is, your values, the things that you stand for, is always being at the forefront of what it is that you do. Because you're not going to be able to get many places without establishing that, without having those certain things in place. So, you know, it's all great things. It's all great things. And you can't hold yourself back. You can't sit there and limit yourself based off of what other people may think either. That one of the biggest things, one of the biggest let goes that I was able to gain XP from is not giving a fuck what anyone else thinks. And when I say that, I mean that in a way to where not to write people off whenever they're trying to give you their better judgment, but for you to be able to not limit yourself in the things that you know is truly going to make you happy, but you're taking someone else's word for your happiness. That part specifically, because I've seen a lot of people plan on doing certain things, that want to do certain things, but they're letting someone else's opinion or someone else's limitations on themselves limit them. You are two completely different people. You have two completely different minds, two completely different emotions. So what they might not feel as if for them might truly not be for them, but it's for you. But you have to be able to see that for yourself. You have to be able to see that for yourself. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm over here cooking right now, boy. I'm cooking. I ain't gonna lie. I'm cooking. I want this to be the
greatest 2024 podcast of all time.
Yeah, because I want people to be like, dang, like
at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Because our last one at the end of 2024 is going to be the best podcast of all time.
Yeah. Honestly, yes. You can say that again. And that's good. I want to be able to touch on all aspects because there's different sides to me. I'm not always this double cup king. Sometimes I get a little, sentimental. I have feelings. I have emotions too. So to be able to put that in the forefront and to be able to have people be like, dang, you know what? That dude Klepto Kev is a real motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
we had movie night a few nights back, and we watched Marley and Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking should have seen Kev.
Marley and Me?
Yeah. I'm so sensitive.
That's crazy. That is a good movie, though.
Oh, dog, I fucking cry at that every time.
You cried? A lot of people cried at that movie. You want to know what actually made me cry? The beginning of Up, when he lost his wife.
Oh, bro.
Boy, that shit, it hit me so fast because I was like watching it and I was in it. And then that happened and I literally hit the, like it was like fast. Like I was like, what just happened? And I had to pause the movie because I was like, bro, like it was like in the first 10 minutes of the movie that happens. And I was like, whoa, what is this movie? Like, where is this gonna even go from here? Because it got bleak as hell in that movie. Yep. And I guess, like the title says, it just went up from there. Like, that one hit me. That one and the bathroom scene from The Pursuit of Happiness. That was another one. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
One that got me, that really caught me off guard first time watching it, was Click.
Oh, bro. Click. Yeah, I think I know what scene too, boy.
Like, just, I was watching it expecting, haha, Adam Sandler, like, haha.
Yeah.
Boy, was I fucking wrong. An amazing movie, but, like, I wasn't ready to see Henry Winkler die. No one was. Like, yeah, like, cover him in bees, but...
Yo. That's... And it was crazy enough. Adam Sandler, he's made some very monumental movies. He's actually... I think he got another one that's on the way that I just seen the trailer for that looks very, very good. Did you see the trailer for that?
Yeah, The Waterboy 2 SEC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That is going to... take things to a whole nother level. You know, Adam Sandler before The Rock was, because I think The Rock holds that spot right now, but before The Rock, Adam Sandler was the most highest paid actor of all time. He did have that part at one point. That's why he was making so many Netflix specials, because he signed a big deal with them. I think the last one I watched was the Hubie's Halloween. Yeah, the cast in that was insane.
I know, and I love all the throwbacks, like Hal L.
Hubie's Halloween, or was it Rebound? It was one of those two. I think maybe Rebound was the last one.
I didn't see Rebound, but I've heard great things about it.
Did you
see what was it? Hidden Gems.
Cut Gems.
Like
yeah.
Bro,
that one was a different type of role for him too. Like,
then he's got another one coming up.
Yeah,
it's called like Spaceman or something like that.
I think I seen a trailer for that one. Yeah, what is that? Is this supposed to be like the Martian type of his version of the Martian?
I don't know, but
because it's just him, huh?
I'm all for it.
I'm for it too. I'm glad to see. I don't think Adam Sandler has ever touched space before, so this is a little different for him, for sure. I definitely look forward to being able to see him back on the big screens again, man. Just knowing him, I know he's always spotted doing the most randomest things, either playing basketball or visiting an IHOP.
And it's always shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most coolest dudes, like, ever. Him and Keanu Reeves, he's a pretty chill one too.
Yeah,
can't really go wrong with that.
John Lovitz liked one of my tweets on Twitter.
For real?
I swear.
No, that's different.
And Ken Jeong retweeted one of my tweets.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, that's different. What?
Yeah.
What?
I like to drink alcohol and tweet at my favorite actors, and directors,
really,
writers.
No, that's different.
And athletes.
Yeah.
Davis Webb liked some of my tweets back when he was at Cal. Now he's telling Russell Wilson what to do in Denver.
Oh shit, dude.
Fun fact: Davis Webb went to Tech.
That was right. Oh, okay. All right. Shoot, not too bad, not too shabby. I like the way we took this one. This one was more down to that nitty gritty, you know. So I'm glad we was able to do this, because I really wanted people to kind of dive a little bit more or to get more of a gist as for who we are and how we operate. And I think we hit that nail on the head for sure. So, yeah, good stuff. Like we said, we're back at it again, doing what it is that we do great, which is providing great and amazing content for you guys to be able to listen on and hopefully being able to spread some sort of wisdom or some sort of information for you guys to be able to gain XP off of what it is that you're listening to. You know, gaining that experience points, man. That XP is going to take you up out of there. You're going to be able to form sentences that most people ain't going to be able to understand, because you're just working at a level that most people can't get with and can't get to, and maybe won't be able to get to. So, you know, as long as we helping people, our fans out there, our lovely subscribers, the people who are able to make this all possible, then we're doing great things, especially for the new year that we're in. So, yeah, tons of great things ahead. Y'all stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back at it again. Yo! Amazing.
What these niggas talking about? For that shit that they be talking about, they love it.
What? That was like an hour. Well, fuck.
All right, so